Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this little class lesson workshop that we do every Sunday. My name is Sally, and today we're going to work on how to feminize, masculinize, or androgynize our voices and really take your voice to any height or lows that you want. All right? So before we do anything today, I need to talk about some safety talk when it comes to voice. Voice is made up of some muscles and ligaments and a lot of tissues. I won't get too much into the specifics, but what's important to know is that once you want to use your voice, you have to make sure that it stays hydrated and, properly warmed up. And so if you do happen to take any medication such as spironolactone or any other kind of medication that can or is known to be drying to the voice or to the body, then you would want to try and work around those things so that you don't add extra layers of difficulty in your practice. All right? Of course, when you want to hydrate your voice, you want to drink water. Avoid sodas or coffee, as those are known to be quite acidic or dehydrating to the voice. Again, I'm not here to police how you do your life and how you live, so just know that these are just some tips and advice to allow you to have a better and easier time with your voice. All right? Now, another thing that I wanted to say is that you have to keep your voice warmed up. So warm-ups, we call them softies for SOVTE, or we also call them VFE for vocal function exercise. Simply put, it's kind of like voice yoga, right? So you're gonna do like a gentle sound, like a Z sound, zzz, and you're gonna try and slide up and back down, or do scales with it, such as zzz. We'll be doing a few of them in a second. All right, so that pretty much explains warm-up and safety of the voice. All right, so it's just like any muscle, you have to warm it up before you use it, okay, so that you don't end up hurting yourself. So something with the voice that you have to know is that there's no proper way to know when your voice is exactly tired, right? You can get somewhat of a feeling, but generally you're going to hear your voice fail before, you really notice that your voice is going to fail you, right? So that's because there's not a lot of nerves that are there to check what's happening with your vocal folds as they vibrate. So something that you can do is check if you already know what your range is in terms of pitch, if your higher pitches end up being harder to produce than usual, or if your lower pitches end up being harder than usual, then you know that your voice might need some rest. Going past that vocal fatigue can cause the vocal folds to eventually rub against each other when they're not in the best shape, and that can cause some long-lasting damage. And if not damage, then it can make it so that you need a lot of time to recover from that experience. Okay? So now let's talk a little bit about how voice functions, really quick. Just a quick summary. So how does voice work? We have three main things that we like to talk about: the power, the source, and the filter. So the power is the air that you push from your lungs, right? And then the source is going to be right behind your Adam's apple, right behind there. Okay? You don't want to tap it like I did, just do it under professional supervision. But the source sound here is going to be produced with the input of air that you give it. So air will push up, and then there's some vocal folds that will get together, and with the help of the air, they're going to start to vibrate. And that vibration creates the source sound. And that is the foundation of all voice. And of course, that sound will then have to propagate and reverberate in a place. We call this place the filter, or also the resonance chamber. This is where you might have heard the term resonance used before, and it refers to the size of the filter. Have a really, really big filter and you have a really hollow, dark voice. Have a really, really, really small filter and you have a very bright, small, feminine voice. Okay? So that's what you want to learn to manipulate. The filter, the source, and well, the power kind of comes with the source. So it depends on how much you breathe out. All right, that's all you need to know about voice, at least on the surface. Now, as I said before, we would want to do some vocal warm-ups. So you're allowed to unmute yourself for this, okay? I will do the warm-up first, and then I'll count to 3, point to you, and you will repeat it afterwards. Only if you feel comfortable, all right? So let's try this out. Oh. 3, 2, 1. And back down. Very good. Awesome. Now let's try it with a more complicated sound. Let's try like with a Z sound. Zzz. Okay. I hear some of you did it already, but let's do it all together in 3, 2, 1. Yeah. And back down. There you go. Awesome. So what you just did there is the softy or the VFE. And what does it stand for? What does it mean? Well, you might have noticed that when we do the O sound, our lips are like rounded, like we're pouting. And when we're doing the Z sound, the tongue is in the way of the teeth. Zzz. That creates what we call an intraoral pressure. All you need to know is that we create pressure above the lungs, actually at the level of the mouth. And that's for a very simple reason. When you and I use our voices in day-to-day life, we always breathe out air from the lungs, and that means that the vocal folds only vibrate from the bottom up, right? So that means that there's always a pressure coming from below the vocal folds, right? The goal of this exercise that we just did together, and you're more than welcome to do it some more when you're muted, generally, or whenever you're going to start practicing, okay? The goal of this exercise is to counter that pressure from the lungs to allow the vocal folds to have not only pressure from below because of the air of the lungs, but also from above thanks to the closure of your mouth, okay? So that's why we do those exercises. Now you kind of understand. We don't do those silly sounds for no reason. There's another fun one that we can try together if you want. This one involves making like a brrr sound. All right, let's give it a try. I go first. And you go in 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Awesome. That one is not that easy to do, actually. Some of you might even have struggled to flap the lips like this. This actually uses the whole body of the lips in the way to create an even stronger pressure. So this is more challenging, but if you can do it, try different levels. Something of the lips, like a brrr, like a lip trill. You can try the C sound, Z, or a V sound, V, or a J sound, J, really any sound that you want. Just do a sound like this that will allow the vocal folds to properly warm up without having to stress out too much. Okay? Now, with that being said, I think pretty much all is said. So what I will do as per usual in those workshops is take 2 people who want to move up on stage to feminize their voices and 2 people who want to come up on stage to masculinize their voices. All right, so let's get started with mask voice. Anyone wants to raise their hand and come up on stage? You can raise your hand, use the hand emoji, you can jump in place. All right, no one, really, no one? No one wants to make their voice super low and fun. Or no, really. It's all femme here. Okay. Let's see. Do we have someone in there? Okay, maybe, okay. Let's see if someone else comes later through. Maybe someone who wants to learn to androgynize their voices. Maybe get some NB voices in there. Something in between, something that's kind of fun. No? No interest in this? All right. Guess we'll just do femme voice today then. All right. So who wants to learn to feminize their voices? All right. I believe you've already come up on stage, Strawberry. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. I will privilege someone who hasn't been on stage yet. All right. I see you, Zaras. Want to come up on stage? All right. Come on. Applause for Zaras.
Thanks, everyone.
Welcome. Hello. Okay. We got 10 minutes starting from now. Make sure that you don't have noise suppression turned on in VR chat. You can check that in the audio settings. See if you have noise suppression on and see that the noise gate is all the way down to 0%. Is that all right?
Does that sound okay? Sound okay?
Can you give me a gentle whisper like, sounds great to me. All right. We got about 10 minutes starting from now. Let's go. All right, Cyrus, what do you want to learn today? What do you want to work on?
Yeah, so this is basically where I've gotten so far, and I've hit a bit of a roadblock where I don't know where to go further with it, essentially.
All right, so from an honest point of view, I really feel like that's already in a very feminine place. Perhaps you just needed to hear that, or perhaps there's something that you really want to achieve of your voice that you might not have put into words yet. Perhaps you feel like your pitch is too low. Perhaps you feel like your voice is too monotonous. Perhaps you struggle to express feelings or emotions that might require like more complex ranges of voice. Do you kind of feel like one of your issues lies in this, or do you maybe like feel like there's something
So
else?
some feedback that I've gotten before is apparently it sounds like, and I can kind of hear it myself as well, it just sounds like I'm always sounding like a secretary, like a normal person would
Okay.
sound like this a lot of the time.
Really? I don't know. I hear many people sound like you. Okay.
Maybe I'm off.
So okay, so what I get from secretary voice, like, I think, okay, this is, like saying like secretary voice, cartoon voice, like these are categories. It's hard to define them exactly. But what I can hear from your voice is that maybe your pitch is a little bit monotonous and maybe on the lower end of the range. Although when I think of secretary voices, I can think of all right, paperwork, you go next. Or I can think of the hyper femme secretary, like, yes, hello, you come to see. Okay, yes, doctor, thingamajig. Okay, like either I think of the hyperfem secretary or the more monotonous paperwork secretary, where like it's more of a boring job or whatever. So like the voice kind of matches a more monotonous state, Okay, so let's see. All right, so
To me, it kind of just sounds a bit too androgynous, I guess. Like there's like something missing to make it like fully feminized, I guess. I'm not quite sure.
okay.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. So like when I hear you talk, like you're kind of like around this area. Like I don't feel like it's lacking femininity, but I do understand that the pitch is kind of low, and it might be sometimes be misinterpreted as a more androgynous or masculine voice, and that's because generally speaking, when it comes to pitch, we have kind of internalized pitch ranges that we kind of associate to masculinity or femininity. Again, be careful, those are common socially gendered ranges. You can absolutely talk around this pitch. Let me get pitch monitor software because I have no idea. I don't have perfect ear. Like right now, I'm around here, but like this voice still sounds feminine, right? And I can be I can be up here and still sound very masculine, right? So pitch is not everything, and that much you probably already know. So what I hear in your voice is that your resonance, or rather how small your vocal tract is pretty tuned well to a smaller size. So I already hear a lot of brightness in your voice. But what I can also hear is that your pitch is generally around that range. And perhaps that's what's causing that read of people that say that it's more androgynous, or perhaps you feel like it's more androgynous because it's more around those areas. So to fix that, we can go and try your voice at higher pitches or keep your voice at lower pitches and kind of have it travel up and down the range to give it more a melody, more intonation. Okay?
Yeah, they both sound cool.
Let's try this out. So what we will be doing is I have a few sentences here from everyday life, of course, such as blow high is my favorite shark. Very common sentence in every cishet household, of course. So let's give this a try. Why don't you read that very first sentence for me? And that's in your current voice.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hello, good morning. How are you? Okay. Hello, da 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 da. Okay, so it's like kind of moving like from da B3. Hello, good morning. How are you? So like you're kind of starting high and you're going up a little bit on hello, good morning. Morning. How are you? Right? But I also do hear that, like, because it starts so high, you might also be losing some of that amplitude. If you started like here, hello, good morning, perhaps I would see something more like, hello, good morning, like something like just a little bit higher. Or you could also start lower. Instead of starting, hello, good morning, you'd start, hello, good morning, so that you have a more amplitude to work on and
Hello,
from.
good morning.
Yes, like this. Now you started lower, still in a feminine range, but because you went higher and there was like a bigger gap, it made this voice sound more melodic, right? Less monotonous. Right now we're trying to fight secretary voice. We're trying to fight monotony. Monotony is hello, good morning, how are you? I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Not that you sound like that, but there's like levels of monotony, right? Like completely monotonous, I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Then a little bit less monotonous, I'll have a cup of coffee, please. That's maybe like more secretary monotone. If we have to put a word on what secretary voice means, then maybe something a bit more intonated. I'll have a cup of coffee, please. And maybe even crazier, like, I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Which might be like
Oh,
Disney
I like that
princess.
one.
You like the last one, okay.
That's really weird to say. Uh,
You can
I'll
do
have
that
a
if you want
coffee,
to.
please.
That works fine. Yeah, exactly. I was kind of scared that you wouldn't have the range for it. But like you can already go quite high. I'll have a cup of coffee, please. That goes up to G sharp 4. If we compare that to the range, G sharp 4 is around, okay, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, here. You're like here when you did that. So like you're beyond the common speaking range. Okay? So you can definitely go higher for a femme voice. You don't have to stop at a certain ceiling anyways. All right, so let's try some more sentences. Let's try to make that a little bit more normalized. Why don't you read the next sentence?
The hormones one.
Yep.
I forgot to take my hormones. God, that sounded so
Okay.
American. I also sound very American.
I don't
I'm
know.
not American.
Is it the ugh? You're not American?
I don't
Pray
know.
tell, where are you from? What accents do you go
I'm from
for?
England. I'm from England. I'm
England.
supposed
Okay.
to sound Northern English, which I don't in the slightest, but there you go.
You're supposed to sound Northern English, which you don't, not in the slightest. Okay.
Yeah, so this is my
That's a
normal sort of masculine voice. So my goal was to have this sort of, I guess, somewhat neutral accent. I'm not sure, but this sort of a voice, just female.
okay. I see. Do you feel like feminizing your voice has modified your accent completely, or not that much?
Like my masculine voice sounds pretty the same to me, but my feminine voice sounds very American to me, I guess.
Okay. But that's kind of British, but you know, I feel
I
like
don't know.
um, so something to take into account is that British voices tend to be darker. That means that the vowel sounds that will be produced generally use a bigger mouth space. So, for example, you would say "get in the car," whereas with a more American accent, you would say "get in the car."
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
See what
I
I
can totally
mean?
hear that.
Um, like instead of saying "give it some thought," you would say "give it some thought." Maybe something like that, right? There's a shift to be brighter with the more Americanized voice. So I understand why you would end up having a more Americanized accent, because when you feminize your voice, there is a chance that you might warp your vowels to change too much. So perhaps you might want to reclaim a more British accent if that's something you want. Okay, you're not, you don't have to be forced to sound like a specific
No, I
accent, but
definitely want to stick with what I had.
gotcha. All right. Let's see. Actually, I have that one sentence that I like to do. Let's see. See that sentence here? Snow flamingo eats kilos
Snow
of tomato
flamingos.
risotto. Yeah. Can you
Snow
read that one for
flamingos
me?
eat kilos of tomato risotto.
All right.
Risotto.
So what you said is snow flamingos eat kilos of tomato risotto, right? Generally speaking, and it depends, right? Because like the UK has a lot of variety of accents, but generally speaking, the O sound might be a little bit darker in a more British accents. Instead of saying snow, you might want to say snow. Snow flamingos eat kilos of tomato risotto, right? Something a bit darker in that sense.
That's a lot to think about at once. Snow,
It's okay.
snow flamingos eat kilos of tomato risotto. Risotto.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. So like again, oh whoops. Da-da-dum. Okay, so that's our time up. But basically what I was able to gather from your voice is what you said is secretary voice, I don't like it, that's how I feel about it, it's androgynous. I think that you can take your pitch and try and create more amplitude with it, right? You have the range, you can go up to G#4. I don't know how familiar you are with pitch at all, but I do recommend that you get like a
Use the
pitch monitoring
down.
software.
I don't know, like matching pitch, but yeah.
Okay, so like, you know, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, like, you know, like those notes, or...
I know they exist. I can probably do that within my range.
You know they exist. Great. I recommend you get one of these apps. I know you're on desktop, so you can probably do like a really quick Windows S or whatever you are on, and just like take a screenshot of this for later. These are apps you can use on the desktop, on Android phone. This is both Android and Apple. And iOS, and here is Nail the Pitch, which is only on iOS. These are all free to use, not sponsored, by the way. But if you're interested in sponsoring, don't hesitate. Okay, so this works. What I recommend, two things is try and watch some videos on accents. See if your voice has modified too far towards a more Americanized voice. Honestly, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have recognized it. But then again, I'm not a native English speaker, so you know, my guess is not as good as an English speaker natively. So like, watch out for like your accent.
This is all in my head.
Perhaps. And the other thing is, pitch. Create more intonated pitches. You know, travel up and down your pitch range. You're kind of like staying too much around here, and it's fine. But it would be nice to hear like some jumps, like back up here, you know, or even as far as up here, you know, like. Oh, I forgot to take my hormones, you know, you know, like going up and higher in your range to create more emphasis, more emotion. Okay?
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Zaras. I hope I'll be seeing you in those workshops again. Take care and best of luck with your voice work.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye now. All right, applause for Zaras. All right. Now, I see quite a few more people in the audience, so perhaps someone is interested in learning how to masculinize their voices. Anyone interested? Raise your hand, jump in place. Someone wants to masculinize their voice, make their voice more
low, more deep.
No? No one interested, really? Okay. Not a mask voice. No, Dorian, you're interested? Yeah? Yeah, okay, move up on stage, Dorian. Come on. Applause for Dorian. All right, hello, Dorian. You are perhaps muted. Just perhaps. Blink. Are you okay? Uh-oh, we got some technical difficulties. Not sure if it's the eyes not looking at me or if it's the mic. Yes? No? Are you okay?
If you press Y on your keyboard, it'll bring open your chat box.
Oh no. Is this a voice training without voice? Oh, that's gonna be difficult.
Oh no. It's a new form of voice modulation.
Yeah, it's text fem voice training where you learn to like put tilde waves at the end of messages. No, this is mask voice, never mind. You probably like put more like some words. I don't know. Just make your text shorter. I don't think there's such a thing as mask text training. Okay, Dorian. Maybe I'll let you step off for now and like fix your mic on your end. I can't see whatever you said. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you do fix it, I can try and get you up on stage later. Okay. All right. Hopefully catch you in a bit. All right. Did we have anyone else interested in masculinizing the voice? No, not at all. Scanning the environment. No, really, no one. Okay. So another femme voice it is. All right. Who wants to feminize their voices? Oh, you're quick to answer. Astolfo, come up on stage. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Just over here, there's some stairs. All right. Welcome to Stolfo or And or whatever it is.
Hi again.
Hi again. Hello.
Yeah.
Is this your first time up on stage?
No, I've been here again.
No.
Round 2, I guess. Round 2.
Round 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I do not recognize your avatar, so perhaps you have a new one. I'm not sure.
No, the same one. Sorry, but it's fine. Okay.
Oh, really? Okay. Let's go. We got 10 minutes starting from now. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. So round 2, you said. How's your voice training been going since last time then?
Well, I was replaying the last clip, the last class, and guess I just need feedback. I just need to improve.
All right.
Okay, hold on.
Want to show me how far you've come so far?
Yo, what's up? Hi, my name is Anthony. What's up? Hi, hello. This is so far what I got
nice.
in. I mean, you know.
Okay, so this is how far I've come in. Like, you're kind of like around here, like super soft, maybe like leaning a little bit on like the breathier side of things. But
Yeah,
that's kind of
there's-
like where you are at, yeah?
Yeah, there's that, and there's also this heat from fire, fire from heat. Like, I just can't.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's too like
What's wrong
heat
with-
from fire, fire from heat, or heat
What's
from
wrong with
fire,
that?
fire from heat. I don't know which one
Heat
is
from
like.
fire, fire from heat. Heat from fire, fire from heat. Okay, so the first
Heat
one you
from
did was
fire.
like heat from fire. That one was darker.
Yeah.
So like you did several different ones. Some of them were brighter. The very first one was like heat from fire, fire from heat, very bright. The second one was a bit
Yeah.
darker, like more on the heat from fire, fire from heat, like more of a yawny femme voice quality. Right? So
Yeah.
it really depends what you're aiming for. I don't believe that you have to be dead set when working on feminine voice to have like a hyper bright voice, right? You can also have like a slightly darker voice, that works too. And from before doing heat from fire, fire from heat, the mantra phrase, right? I did hear that your voice was like a bit leaning on the breathier side, and like maybe it was lacking a bit of vocal fold mass. Like
Yeah.
it was like really soft, but like it was maybe like too soft actually, like to be used as a day-to-day live voice,
Yeah.
So we can take a look at that.
I'm trying to find like the sweet spot, I guess you could say. I don't know.
All right, let's try and find that sweet spot together. So,
All right.
how about you read, let's say the 2 first sentences up here.
Okay, the problem is like how do I
Yes.
like what tone? Like do I use the
Okay.
softer?
I heard that you went and said the mantra phrase, heat from fire, fire from heat. So you can
Yeah.
jump to that mantra phrase to set up your voice. And once you're there,
Okay.
heat from fire, fire from heat. Hello, good morning. How are you? You can try that
Hello,
out.
good morning. Okay.
Okay, good.
Hello, good morning. How are you? Heat from fire.
Nice, very good.
I have a cup of coffee, please.
Okay, careful there. I'll have a cup of coffee, please. It started to go a bit dark towards the end. Want to
Oh.
try that again?
Yeah. I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
Okay, very good. Cup of coffee, please. So careful on coffee.
Coffee. I'll have a coffee,
Nice.
please.
Very good. Awesome. Now let's try and break up the monotony. I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Let's make it more into I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
Okay, so now that was a little bit better, but we're still leaning a little bit too much on that hollow side, right? That like, I'll have a
Yeah.
cup of coffee, please. So how do we fix that? Well, we have to understand what's happening with your voice first. I hear that your voice is bright. I hear that your voice is at a high pitch, and I hear that your voice is soft, which is pretty much making up the three main components of what we are looking for in a feminine voice. Now,
Okay.
something that you might be missing here is the vocal weight. While it's good to be very soft, sometimes it can be a little bit too soft and just sound, I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Oh, I forgot to take my hormones. Are you really sure about that? That can be a little bit too soft. So let's talk about
Yeah.
how we can make that a bit more full of a sound. And let me see. All right, take a look at this graph. So what's most likely happening in your voice is that you might be using, let me get a better color for this. There we go. You might be using a little bit too much of light vocal folds. Your voice is too soft. Now, we don't want you to be crazy thick. Like, we don't want you to be like, heat from fire, fire from heat. That's not going to sound good. But having a middle ground is what we're looking for, to find that like medium voice, right? So what you would want to do is have a little bit of more vocal fold mass, right? All right. So what you want to do here is try and make your voice a bit louder. So try and match my pitch
Okay.
here. Ah. All right, and now we're going to try and go towards the thicker, towards the heavier
Okay.
side of the voice, like this. Ah. Try that out. Awesome. And somewhere in the middle ground of those two, you might find a more medium voice, some that is a bit more balanced and works better to express the texture of your voice. So,
Wait, right there?
yeah, like not like but not like either. Somewhere in the middle.
Like right here. No.
Yes. Yes. Sounds fine. Okay? And now you can try and say, let's go back to our sentences. All right. Now let's try and say,
Hello, good morning, how are you?
yes, just like that. Hello, good morning, how are you?
Hello, good morning, how are you?
Yeah, exactly. Much better than your hello, good morning, how are you? Right? And that sounds fuller, it sounds real, right? Like it has like texture, like it's your voice and it has been for years and years, right? Now, let's try some more sentences. How about the next one?
I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
Okay, now I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Let's try and make that less monotonous. So, I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
Okay, careful there. I'll have a cup of coffee and then please. Please. Careful on the drop of the pitch.
Okay.
Try it again.
I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Oh, God.
Nice. That works pretty well. I'll have a cup of coffee, please. That works. Yeah. How about the next one?
Are you really sure about that?
Are you really sure about that? That works. Yeah. Did you have an issue with that?
Yeah, I kind of forgot
To make it thicker?
the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, the feeling. I forgot the feeling.
Okay. Are you really sure about that? Are you really sure about that? Are you really sure about
Are you
that?
sure about that? Are you really sure
Nice.
about that?
Good. Okay. Very good. Now you hear the very different, distinct sound. Are you really sure? Are you really sure? Adds a lot
Yeah,
more
sounds-
texture to your voice. Yeah.
Oh, do I continue the
Sounds-
sentence? Like all of them?
You can read the next one. Let's go.
Okay. Wait. I'll have a. I think I have a craving for pickles.
Nice.
I think
I think. Go ahead.
I totally agree with that. Oh, God. Wait, that was
Okay.
light?
Okay, so what happened here is I totally agree with that. So like your O sound here was a little bit darker than the rest of your voice, right? Get some water. Absolutely great idea. I'll be doing the same. Great reminder. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah.
Cheers. No, it's not alcohol. Don't drink alcohol in voice training, please. All right. So, let's try again. So what happened here is on the totally, and I think you start to see a trend here in your voice. A cup of coffee. I totally agree, right? That O sound is kind of causing your voice to drop in terms of resonance. It's becoming a bit wider. So maybe we want to focus our practice, our practice more towards feminizing, or rather brightening the O sound. So for this, you're in luck because I have some sentences that are right there to focus on those. So let's check this out. So the sound in totally, snow, flamingo, totally, was it coffee is more like an aw sound, as in, I think it would be crow, ba. It would be like the aw and bar and the o and boat that we want to practice. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so let's try this together, Astolfo. All right, so match my pitch here. Ooh.
Ooh.
Whoops. Okay,
Okay.
now try to make it brighter, like so.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. And try and read the sentence. Snow flamingos eat kilos of tomato.
Flamingo eat kilos of tomatoes. Risotto.
Okay. Okay, very good. Now, try the one where it says the crowbar opened the subpar car.
The crowbar opened the subpar car.
Careful there. The crowbar opened. Opened the subpar car.
The
Nice.
crowbar opened the subpar car.
Very good. And now break up the monotony. The crowbar opened the subpar car.
The crowbar opened the The crowbar opened the subpar car.
Very good. Okay, that's all fixed. Awesome. And you even caught yourself there doing the crowbar, the crowbar. So you've missed it and you fixed it. That's what I wanted to hear. When you know what you're doing wrong, you can fix it, and the more you fix it, the better it gets. All right, so this was pretty straightforward. What you have to take from this lesson is that, yes, you're able to achieve a feminine voice, but one that might be a little bit too soft at times. And so going for that more thick gradient, and finding like a thicker voice that has like a bit more vocal fold mass to it creates that brighter sound that you are looking for. Not only that, but as we were practicing your voice, we noticed that on the O sounds and on the A sound as in crowbar, on the O as in boat, right? So O as in boat and A as in bar, right? These are two sounds that have the tendency to make your resonance drop, to make the vocal tract size bigger. So these are some sounds you want to watch out for. So the two things I would say is watch out for those two sounds, practice brightening them. When you notice them in a sentence, try to say them again and again, making sure that you listen and hear if there is an issue with those. And other than that, make your voice a little bit thicker and you should be good. Okay?
Okay.
Good progress so far. All right. Thank you, Stelfo. Hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Applause for Stelfo. Okay. Now, still no one who wants to masculinize their voice. No, really? It's all a femme voice today? Oh? Oh, wait. So, Dorian, did you get your mic working? Yes? No? Jump if you did. Or try speaking.
Hopefully,
Yeah?
can you hear me? Awesome.
Yes, I can hear you. All right, move up on stage. All right, applause for Dorian. All right, I knew you could do it. Hello, welcome, Dorian. We got 10 minutes starting now. All right, so what is it that you come up here for, Dorian?
Voice masculinization.
Okay, you might want to check if you have any noise suppression turned on, okay? So please go in please go in your sound settings and make sure that the mic activation threshold is all down to 0% and that noise suppression is turned off. Okay? Not sure if you're on push to talk or voice activity, actually. Oh no. Are you good? Hello?
Wait.
Up. I hear bits of your voice. Yes?
Yeah.
Can you try hold a note? Oh yeah, okay. I heard a yeah, and then?
I just asked, put what on 0%?
The mic activation threshold, sorry. Do you find a setting? It's in the quick launch menu, so it should be.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
We did
I'm sorry.
it. Awesome. We got it. Woo! Okay.
It is actually
Let's
my
try
first time talking in VR.
No way! First time talking VR. Woo! Okay,
Thank you.
so all right, Dorian, what do you want to do today? Masculinize your voice? Yeah?
Yes.
Awesome. So I already hear quite a few elements of masculinization. If anything, I would say your voice is mask already. So
actually?
I guess I must. Yeah, actually, I must ask. Have you been taking hormones? If that's not too indiscreet, of course.
Yes, I have. Like, around, 4 years, but I always
yeah,
speak
okay.
so soft.
I see. Okay, I see what we're going to do today. So it might sound counterintuitive, right? Because I talked about the vocal fold mask with Stolfo over there, who was up on stage before, and we used it to feminize the voice. But when it comes to masculinizing the voice, right, we also want to reach a more thick sound, a more heavy sound, right? What good is it to have a mask voice? Although you can have a mask voice and
like you can talk down here really soft, really gentle, right? But perhaps you want a more boomy, more textured voice that has more mass, right?
in which case using the heavier vocal folds is the way to go. Okay?
Okay.
So let's see. I kind of want to check what your range is like. How about you go from your highest pitch down to your comfortable lowest pitch? Kind of like this. Ooh. Give it a try.
Ooh.
Okay, very good. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just checking what pitch that is. I was getting my phone. Ooh, it's around C3. Okay, great. So now let us get some sentences to practice this with. How about you read that very first sentence for me up there?
Just normally? Or?
Just normally, yeah.
Okay. That Matt Brad sat on the flat mat.
Okay. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Very good. Now, as you said, it's pretty soft, and I think we can make it a little bit thicker. So let's try this. Match my pitch here. Okay, very good. Now try the following. Try to make it a little bit louder. Okay. Sorry, blah. I'm dying, choking on my own spit. Okay, cool. Now, let's try
no.
this. It's fine. It's just, I can't help it. I see just mouth just going It's just so good. Anyways, yes, back on track, focus, yes. So another thing that you can try is to trigger that vocal fold mass increase is to kind of try and do physical effort in real life. You can try and push a wall or try and lift your desk. You seem like you're on desktop, right? Is your desk heavy enough for you to try and lift it, or you're just too strong and that's gonna mess up your setup?
That'll probably mess it up. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, wow. Okay. You ever try like to go Super Saiyan, like ha, like force your vocal folds really thick?
No.
No, you never. Okay. Maybe like find a wall nearby. For example, here is wall, invisible wall, right? And I try and push it with my teeny tiny muscles, and then go ah, right? And as kind of like similar trigger, right? I'm triggering my muscle, and it's kind of like helping the voice do it at the same time, right? I don't know if you've ever been to a gym, or like you ever seen like gym bros, and they're like like when they're pushing or whatever, right? Like you hear that.
Yeah.
And that's because when we are doing an effort, there is a high likelihood that the vocal folds also thicken up as they vibrate instead of staying really thin, right?
Yeah.
So like think of that time where you like did a physical effort, like lifting a very heavy furniture or pushing something really heavy. Like try to like create that like that really strained sound. Or not strained, but more heavy sound.
Yeah.
Give it a try. Okay, now I heard that you did like this. No, try to put voice behind it, like. Yeah?
Sorry.
It's okay. It's not an easy feat. You can try and work this out when you're like not in the session. You know, try and like lift heavy things or try to trigger that heavy vocal fold mass. You know, another thing, less glamorous, I know, but when you're having a really bad time in the bathroom, you might also like do that noise. It really depends on the people, of course. I'm not saying that's what you do, of course, but whatever the way is to produce that sound, I'm sure you can find it and then hone it, use it more, and then try and incorporate that to your voice to make it a little bit thicker, okay?
Yeah.
Other than that, your voice is already like at a low pitch, in a low range, and it's pretty dark. So we can try to make it even darker if you want, or we can try to see if we can make your pitch even lower. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let's give that a try. How about you read that next sentence for me?
The crowbar opened the support car.
Okay, the crowbar opened the subpar car. Now let's try to do the following. Let's try and go a little bit lower. The match my pitch here? The good. The very good. Let's keep going down. The okay. So we're like around B2. Okay, let's try this. And now say the crowbar opened the subpar car.
The crowbar opened the subpar car.
Very good. Okay, careful there. Now let's try the next one. The store doors creaked more on the 4th floor.
The store door creaked more on the 3rd floor.
Yeah, for the 4th, it's not. It doesn't matter. It's just numbers. I want you to go back to the very
sorry.
first one. That it's okay. Let's go back to the first one. That mad brat.
That mad brat.
So as we're hearing that mad brat, like there's a bit of a diplophonic behavior, so like kind of strange behavior where your vocals are kind of like creating that weird sound, right? So I think that it might be due to the fact that you are lacking the vocal fold mass at those lower pitches, in which experimenting with increasing the vocal fold mass might be something you're looking for. Or perhaps you can also try and further darken your resonance. And I really want to try this really quick before you leave the stage. So can you match my whisper here? Ah, pat that cat. All right. So pat that cat, and now make the pat that cat even darker. Pat, pat,
Pat, pat, pat that cat.
Pat, 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 pat that cat.
Okay, good. So careful not to voice it. Pat, pat,
Pat, pat. Like, let's try and whisper really dark. Pat that cat. Yeah.
What the cat?
Oh, careful. Okay, you did this.
Sorry.
Pat.
That cat. So the start was
Oh,
really
okay.
dark. That was really good. Try to go again to that.
What? Pat that cat.
Okay, so now you voiced it. Now you have the sound, right? Like that.
Pat that cat.
Now compare it to how you normally say it.
Wrong.
Pat that cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So you already noticed that like you went from
Pat that cat.
to,
Pat that cat.
right?
Yeah.
So that already sounds
Yeah.
more masculine as it's more dark. Now, we don't have really the time to experiment with that too much, but
Yeah.
I do recommend that you try and go for that darker sound. Then try to match it with the low pitch of C3 or B2. I recommend same like use a pitch monitoring software, okay?
Okay.
And other than that, yeah, like you said it yourself, 4 years of testosterone, I presume, and it shows. Like you have a really mask voice. It's very good. You might lack a little bit of that darkness. You can make your voice darker. You just don't use your voice super dark. It's not a requirement to sound masculine, right? There's like masculine voices that sound like really bright, like this one. And it's not like necessary to exactly sound
Like super low and super thick, etc., etc., right?
like to each their own voices, and try to find a voice that matches you best. My main thing to take away from this is you might want to make your voice a bit thicker, so try to experiment the things of having a really bad time in the bathroom, not very glamorous, I know, or trying to lift something whilst engaging your voice. So maybe you can try and do and as you hold the voice, try to do a physical effort that will put some strain, and try to see what your voice does. Does it die out? Does it keep going? And if it keeps going, try to keep it going, and you should have an experience of the thicker vocal fold mass that will then help you have
A thicker mask voice.
on the long run. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, Dorian.
Yeah.
Congrats for moving up on stage. Congrats for speaking for the first time in VR chat, and I hope it's not the last one. All right, applause for Dorian.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Now, is anyone else interested in masculinizing their voices? No? Oh, I see lots of hands. Oh, is it fag colors? Yes? All right, move up on stage. Come on. All right, applause for fag colors. There's some stairs over there. Yeah. All right, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. All right, we got 10 minutes starting from now. All right, fag colors. What brings you up on this stage? Want to make your voice more,
Masculine. Boomy.
more,
Childlike.
or whatever?
Yes, that is exactly what I
Yes.
want to do. I just
All
started
right.
P for the first time, so I want to
Awesome,
kind of, like,
congrats.
incorporate both sides into it.
Nice. All right. So let's see what we can do then. So of course, testosterone is pretty much a cheat code, and like it makes it easier. But you can achieve a lot without testosterone. The proof for that is like there's some cis women metal singers that don't specifically have any strong testosterone exposure who are able to like create crazy low vocals. And so of course you can as well without the help of testosterone. Now it does take some practice, and it will be a little bit more tricky than feminizing your voice, because as someone who has been testosterone exposed, right, I have the ability to go
Really dark to like a really masculine voice.
and really bright, because it's a subtractive method. we're trying to do something additive, right? We're trying to create vocal fold mass that isn't there. We're trying to make the vocal folds longer when they are shorter in reality. So there's some techniques that we can explore and try and use to make your voice more masculine. Now, why don't we check what your pitch range is like? Yeah? So how about you go from your highest pitch and drop down to your lowest pitch on a slide like this. Ooh. Give it a try.
All right. Something like that.
Okay, this is pretty promising. We had D sharp 3 as the lowest pitch, although you did it brighter like a but we can work on that. Now, are you a bit aware on how we use the resonance and how we make the voice darker, or not at all?
Just a little bit.
Let's go over it. So what we like to do is, because when we use our voice, we both hear the vocal folds vibrate and the size of the vocal tract changing, we want to use whispers to really only hear the resonance. A bright whisper. A bright whisper generally sounds more feminine, whereas a dark whisper generally sounds more masculine. Okay? Now, to make that a bit darker, we can try and scale it down. So how about we say, pat that cat, but on a whisper, like so. Pat that cat. Give it a try.
Pat that cat.
Very good. And now let's scale it down. Pat, 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 pat.
Pat, 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 cat.
Okay, so you went from pat that cat to pat that cat, right? So you could go darker, of course. With practice, you can probably reach new lows. New lows are good in mask voice, trust me. So, pat that cat, right? It's already a different experience from your pat that cat. As in, maybe if you felt it, your larynx dropped lower, your Adam's apple dropped lower. And even if you don't see an Adam's apple, it is there. So it can drop or be more or less high. So now let's try and take that very first sentence, that mad brat sat on that flat mat, and convert it completely into a whisper, like so. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Let's get started with this.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Very good. And now let's try and go back to the darker sound. That. And say the sentence completely dark. Yes, that was really good. And now, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that mat.
Nice, very good. Now we had that mad brat, and now we have that mad brat. Very good. So already on the whisper basis, you already have a much darker and, to be honest, a masculine whisper. That mad brat, right? Although I do understand that whispers are kind of hard to gender. Now, what we want to do is take that experience of the lower Adam's apple, of the bigger vocal tract, of the darker whisper, and try to transition that into a full voice. I heard that you were able to go all the way down to D sharp 3, but I will not work with your limit here. So let's try and go for an E3. Match my pitch here. Okay, so you're here. Let's go down together. You're here. And slightly lower. There you go. Awesome. Try and hold it for a little bit and try to do this. Careful, you went a little bit higher. Let's try this. Nice. Nice. And now?
That's pretty
yes.
difficult.
I know. It's kind of like at the lower end of your range, right? So of course it is more difficult. Now what you did here, that is what we call a glottal attack or a glottal strike. And the goal is to get the vocal folds to close directly as you engage your voice. Effectively, this helps you become more precise with how you start your voice, right? For feminine voices, you might want to do it at higher pitches, right? And with masculine voices, at lower pitches, It can also be a very good challenge to start in your fem voice or whatever a voice you go for. Really, I don't think we should call them fem or masculine, really. But like, if you're like up here, then pause. Think of how it feels like to be at a lower pitch. Try to play the sound in your head and try to engage the muscles. And then, Do you want to give that a try?
Yeah, so starting at higher and going lower, or?
Yes, give that a try.
Okay.
Okay, now pause.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Very good. Not as long as we did before, so this is an F3, but this is pretty solid, right? The more you do it, the better you get at it, right? I do recommend that you work with this with a pitch tracking software of some kind, but for now, we stay with what we have. So now, we have the low pitch, and to be fair, you were like at here, F3. So F3 can be really feminine and it can also be
Really masculine, right?
so that's a good middle ground pitch to test both ranges. Now give that a try. We're gonna go back to the dark, that mad brat, okay? On the whisper. Okay, let's try this. That mad
brat.
Mad brat sat on the flat.
Very good. And now try the following. Try to bridge from the whisper into the full voice. It's going to be 3 steps. Whisper, breathy, and full voice. Kind of like this. Right? Slowly closing the vocal folds as you produce the dark whisper. Give it a try. Okay, good. And from there, try to say, that mad brat.
Okay. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, so now you hear, that mad brat sat on a flat mat. So I feel like as you went from the whisper, you kind of did that. That mad brat. It did go brighter again. So that's something you want to be really careful with. To not let the whisper go bright again as you bridge it. Now there's another way to work on this. You can also try and practice your voice and make it hollower. Like start here. That mad brat. And then try and do this.
Increasingly make your voice darker.
Do you want to give that a try?
Can you demonstrate it again? Sorry.
Of course. Okay, so normally with your current brightness, you're not that bright, but
Okay.
Okay, so you did So you did change the vowel at the end there, careful. You want it to be an the entire way through. The first to the second was really good. You went from to very solid, but then you did to Now all you need to do from there is go back to an sound. And then you just got a dark sound. Give it another try. Okay, very good. So, right? So careful because the sound can, like what we want to be careful with here is to not change the vowel sound too much, right? Because as you change the shape of your lips and of your tongue, you create a different vowel sound. A, E, I, O, U are all different vowels that are achieved by a different tongue and lip shape and position, right? So for the A sound, you don't want, as you work on resonance, to rely on the mouth space changing, right? Because the whole goal here will be to make that space bigger, the pharyngeal space, right? So the pharyngeal size is whatever's behind the nose, behind the mouth, and behind the root of the tongue, right? So that's how you can make your voice a lot darker. Of course, you can also make your mouth really big. That will also help with being darker, but that's not the only thing that you want to do. All right? So make sure that you have, just like with that mad brat, right? You weren't doing that mad brat. It didn't become that mad brat. It didn't become that mad brat, it stayed that mad brat. The similar mechanism is to be worked when using your full voice. That mad brat, that mad brat, that mad brat. Perhaps using words, because words have a meaning. Perhaps using words here can make it easier on you. You want to give that a try?
Sure.
All right. That mad brat.
That mad brat. That mad brat.
Oh, yes.
That mad brat.
Okay, that mad brat. Careful, you're changing the pitch here. That mad brat, that mad brat, that mad brat, that mad brat. Okay, so this is typically why I try to work with whispers more, because here you change the pitch before you change the vowel sound. So you want to be able to separate the pitch from the resonance. It's one of the biggest challenges, really. But once you get that down, you get pretty much most of the voice training down, right? So I think the best progress you had so far was with doing the whisper. So let's try this again. Where is this? Yes, okay. Let's try again with the whisper. That mad brat. That mad brat. That mad brat.
That mad brat. That mad brat. That mad brat.
All right, awesome. And from there, oh, that mad brat.
That mad brat. Sat on that
Careful there.
fat mat.
Okay, now you did this. And towards the end, you went brighter again. So this time, try to go directly from the slide into the sentence. Oh, sorry. Oh, that mad brat. Give that a try.
Sorry, I think I might be done.
Okay, no worries. You always be fatigued, it's okay. All right, anyways, I noticed that I forgot to do the timer, so we're we're over 10 minutes, but that's okay. All right, so what you would want to be doing here is practice that whisper a little bit every day. Make sure that you record yourself, because right now you're in a setting on stage, you're trying to do a quick response and answer. So sit down in front of Audacity or any recording software. Try to do these exercises of the whisper. And honestly, you got a really dark whisper, and you were able in the slides to get so you're capable of getting that, okay? All it requires is some practice and getting acquainted with that, okay? Sound good, Fat Colors? All right, best of luck with your practice, and I hope to be seeing you in another one of these workshops. Take care of yourself. Applause for Fat Colors! Going up on stage is not easy. All right, so anyways, yeah, that's about the end of the workshop. Although, do we have any questions from the Discord at all? Perhaps,
We do not have
yes?
any questions on Discord or Twitch. None this week.
No Discord, no Twitch questions. Okay. Well, in that case, well, I don't want to hold the Twitch stream any longer. So thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next workshop. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.